Alana Jaylo.
Yes.
You just calmed me down with some snacks.
I did.
What'd you give me?
So, I bought these Ritz cracker sandwiches with cheese. I love cheese crackers.
Really good.
I love them more than peanut butter crackers. Peanut butter crackers are good, but I love cheese crackers. Something about cheese crackers are just... I also like the club crackers with the cheddar in between them.
Yeah, I like those too.
Oh, those are really good. Yeah, I love cheese crackers. And I also gave you a Rice Krispie treat. I love Rice Krispie treats, probably a little bit more than you do. And then I gave you a bigger Kit Kat bar. Yeah. We both had Kit Kat bars. Yeah. The good, big kind. The regular size kind. Not that the little ones are bad, but these are, you get more bar.
The problem with the little ones is you finish them a lot quicker.
Yeah, but I like getting the little ones so I don't feel like I'm overindulging myself. You know what I mean?
I hear you, babes.
Because, I can get addicted to eating like one Kit Kat, two Kit Kats.
I know.
The bigger ones, and it's not good.
Yes.
But the little ones, I'm like, I can get like bags and bags of them and I can finish them within days. So I don't feel like I'm finishing them like in one sitting. You know what I mean?
That makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to keep my girlish figure somehow, I'm not going to look like this forever.
We got to enjoy you while you do.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so I gave him some snacks. It was very good.
Yes, babes.
Yeah.
We were not supposed to be recording today.
No, so my relative was supposed to come later this week, but it turns out that she actually decided that she was going to stay.
In Seattle, right?
No, she's not in Seattle. She's in a different part of Washington.
Gotcha.
I do have relatives in Seattle, but it's not where she's staying. She's staying in Burlington.
But she will be here next week.
Yeah, she's going to go visit my sister.
Yes.
And her family.
Yes.
And I'm not too sure if or when I'm going back, if anything, because I do want to go back and see the rest of the family because I wasn't able to travel this summer. But she's planning to come in the middle of around the middle of next week.
That's going to be interesting, babes.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, it is going to be interesting.
I've already told you
Yeah.
that as long as she doesn't bring up politics or religion, I'll be good and avoid those subjects.
Well, if she does, I will stop it.
Okay.
I will stop it. Like, don't talk about that now, please. I don't want to have to break up an argument.
Because her views are maybe not the same, but very similar to yours.
Absolutely.
Oh.
When it comes to politics, for sure.
And religion, it's a little bit more dicey, but you guys are on a similar path.
For the most part, yes, but there are like little things that we definitely disagree on.
So how is that going to work? Because you told me that the two of you typically go to church on Sunday mornings when you're in the same city together.
If we can, yeah.
Do you think you will this time?
Possibly. I don't know. I'm not sure because we might end up visiting one, but I don't know how it's going to work.
If you do.
Because, what we usually do is we'll visit a church, but we don't know if we're going to visit it again.
Right. If you guys decide to go on Sunday morning, I think you and me should do some sinning on Saturday night.
No,
so you have something to repent
for. Bubs. It doesn't work that way,
Oh.
I think you should be doing some repenting of your own there, Bubs.
First I got to do some sinning, babe.
No, it doesn't work that way, Bubs.
Really?
You don't just sin on purpose just to repent afterwards.
I thought you did.
Okay.
Okay, babe, so
No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
But maybe I should do put together a lesson on repentance and conviction, and we'll talk about that
on the podcast sometime in the near future.
Well, yeah, we'll see about that. I have to put it together. This month is kind of a little bit different because I don't know, if I am gone. I don't know when I'm not sure if it's going to be a week and a half or 2 weeks, and I'm not sure what's going to happen for late next month. So I'm not sure. But we'll see what we can do about that.
And by late next month, you mean if you're going to go back to see family for Thanksgiving.
Right.
I personally think you should stay here.
You want me to stay for all 3 holidays, right? That's what you want. That's what ultimately you want me to do.
Christmas, right? Thanksgiving. If you want to stay here on New Year's, you can. I'm not going to stop you. I'm staying here for New Year's, okay? I'm not going to block you from doing that, babes. I say you go and visit your family for Halloween.
We don't celebrate Halloween.
Yeah, we don't. You and I don't.
My family does not celebrate Halloween.
Okay.
At least,
Well, then stay here.
We don't.
And then stay here for Thanksgiving and Christmas. Go back there for the New Year's and maybe return for Martin Luther King Day and Groundhog Day.
You're giving my family Martin Luther King Day and Groundhog Day when it's not really it's not like a big holiday. I mean,
Martin Luther King was a great man, babe.
No. I get that. But I'm saying that we don't like have a party on Martin Luther King Day.
Okay.
And we don't have a party on Labor Day, and we don't. Well, actually, Labor Day sometimes we have barbecues.
That's a typical family thing I've heard.
And Memorial Day too, but we don't. We typically don't like have a big celebration on Martin Luther King Day, even though it is a holiday. Man. Yes, he was.
Well, Groundhog Day, and inspired the best holiday movie ever.
It's not a holiday movie. It's just about Groundhog Day.
That's a holiday movie.
Where he keeps dying every day and trying to figure out what to do the next day.
He doesn't die every day, but he does.
Well, no, but the guy shot. But he gets shot though.
He shoots himself. He dies a couple of times, but it's it doesn't happen.
He always wakes up at 6:00.
Yes, I got you, babe.
Yes. Ned. And he punches the guy out.
That's awesome.
Or he punches Ned, right?
One of the days he punches Ned. Sometimes he just walks by him. One day he gave him an uncomfortable hug, and this was before we were as enlightened as we are now about gay rights. He gave him a very uncomfortable hug. It's a good movie, though. I love that movie.
Yes, and he's trying to get with this girl Rita.
Yes, but the point of the movie isn't to get with.
Wasn't there a girl named Nancy in the movie?
There probably was.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, there was.
I want to say that was the hooker he got with.
Right. Yeah, because she was in the movie for a little bit.
Yes. But I think you should go back there for Groundhog Day.
I don't even celebrate Groundhog Day.
What about Trump's birthday?
No.
Because you guys are big Trump fans, right?
Bubs, honestly.
Sorry, I didn't know.
He wants to take all the big holidays. Yeah, you can't be selfish like that,
Well, I'm giving you a lot of little holidays.
Bubs.
Besides my birthday's on Christmas.
Yes, I know that. Well, I told him that if he wanted to, he can go back with me to see my family, but he refused to do that.
No, that would be a little bit weird because one...
You want to go into it?
Yeah, one thing I won't go into, but you know what it is, and that would make it a little bit awkward. And the other thing is, I don't really know your family.
That's exactly why I want you to meet said relative.
No, I know. And I'm a fair amount more liberal when it comes to certain things than I think your family is, based on your description.
Yes.
And so that might cause some conflict.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes I'll just, say things and I won't even think about them because it's just so ingrained into who I am.
You put your foot in your mouth quite a bit.
I wouldn't quite phrase it like that.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
You put your foot in your mouth quite a bit. In fact, you would chew on your foot. Correct?
See, so I don't want to say anything weird in front of your stuff that I would just consider, that's no one cares about this, and have something leave my mouth and then it freaks out your family.
Yeah, you gotta really be careful about that.
No, I just say how I feel, babes.
I know that you are somewhat not as unfiltered as some people that we know who will not be who will be nameless. See,
I consider myself very filtered.
That's what I mean. You're not as unfiltered.
No, I know what you said, but I mean, I'm not unfiltered at all. I'm very filtered.
You're very filtered. Okay.
Yeah.
So
That's the
you
way
actually,
I look at myself.
but you always think about stuff before you say it.
Now I do. I think when I was younger, I put my foot in my mouth a lot more.
Okay.
But I also say things from my perspective, and I could see accidentally saying something that rubbed your family the wrong way. Without trying to.
Right. And then I'll have to call you into the next room and scold you.
Oh. By the way, if you stay here for my birthday, which you totally should, I read this morning that they are releasing the new Pixar movie, Soul, on Disney Plus on Christmas Day.
Soul?
Yeah. Pixar film.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
You know, I only saw part of this movie. I don't believe I saw all of it. Have you ever seen the movie Sing?
I haven't even heard of it.
Yeah, Sing is another Disney Pixar movie.
Okay.
It's I like it. I mean, I don't remember all. I think I only saw part of it. I didn't see all of it.
Yes.
But what I liked was really good.
I had an interesting experience this morning, babe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's get into it. I like this because it gives me a chance to get things off of my chest.
Yes.
First of all, I didn't really know that I was coming over here until yesterday. So last night we were talking on the phone, and I said, I'm out of clean clothes, just so you know.
Yeah, it's more, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Because, again, I was just thinking, well, I'm just going to stay home this weekend and, eat candy and watch Oprah.
Sounds like something I would do.
So it was great to get the call that I was going to come over here, but I was thinking, I should probably explain the smell before I...
And I should say that it was 2 days ago that I let you know this.
Was it 2 days ago?
It was 2 days ago.
Night.
No, it was 2 days ago because my relative didn't call me until later that Wednesday night.
I'm going to take your word on that, but I remembered it's yesterday.
Right.
Anyways, you said, okay, well, you could do laundry here, but I know you're having insomnia, so if it looks like you're going to be up super late, just do laundry the night before.
Right.
I fell asleep around 11:30. Mm-hmm. I woke up at 2:30 this morning. Mm-hmm. I'm lying there for about 15 minutes. Thought to myself, well, why don't I do laundry? Mm-hmm. So I did it. It's all good. I leave my place, get to the Mac station. My train was like about to stop right as I got there.
Right.
I almost didn't buy a ticket, but something told me to get one. Mm-hmm. So I did. Got on the Max, and it's really weird the way it's laid out now because of COVID.
What does it look like?
Well, no, it's not that, but they have these signs on the chairs that you're not allowed to sit in.
Oh, okay.
So I found a chair that did not have one on it.
Yeah.
I sat down, and then I realized there's a guy in front of me. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, well, this is weird. I thought we're supposed to be 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. The train starts moving, and then it hits me. Oh, they probably just don't think that people sitting in these seats, if they're so close together.
Okay, here's a question I have, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I just have a question. How... There's signs on the seats where you're not supposed to sit in. How do they know that people aren't going to be sitting in those seats?
I don't know.
That's a question I would ask. Like, how do they know for sure that they're not going to sit in those seats?
They do have cameras on the Max, but I'm not sure how they would enforce that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But anyway, go on.
Excuse me, indigestion. So.
Are you all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
The train is moving, but those noises you hear are coming from me. And I realized, okay, when the Max stops, I need to get up and find another spot. Mm-hmm. So I'm not so close to this guy. Mm-hmm. And he kind of seems like he's probably has a few screws loose, so I don't want to get into it with him. Mm-hmm. We stop, get up, move, and the train starts moving again. And there's this lady who's a little bit away from me. She says, I don't want to bother you, but I think you might have your mask on wrong. So I'm like, oh, okay. And then I took out a new one because I didn't want to, you know how I am with that.
Yeah, stuff. And you thanked her.
Yeah, and I thanked her, and it was all good. And then she says, oh, yeah, just here to help. And then her and the guy start getting into it over help. She says that she's a woman of faith and she believes in God. And the guy's like, well, I don't believe in God, but I believe in the universe. And I'm doing my part to help the universe. I'm doing what I can to help. And they start getting into it. I felt like, okay, just stay out of this.
Well, my question would be to him, what did he do to help you, you see?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, if he's doing his part to help the quote-unquote universe, right? And she went out of her way to help you, right?
But no, I didn't look at it like that.
Well, I mean, that's something I would wonder. But, I mean, I know you didn't look at it that way. But that would be my question.
Because I was sitting behind him.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah. And also, I don't look at it like it's anybody's obligation to really help me.
That's true.
Because I don't want to look at the world.
No, that's not what I meant, though.
Yeah.
I'll have to explain that later.
Okay.
Because I don't think you're understanding me, but it's okay. That's interesting. That's an interesting conversation they must have had.
Yeah. In any event, she is, probably a Christian, but still pretty irrational. And
did you say she was irrational?
I said still pretty rational.
Still pretty rational. Okay.
Yes, babes.
Sorry.
That's all right, babes. They're having this discussion. We get to 82nd. And people from TriMet come on to check the fares. Mm-hmm. So I pull up my ticket, so it's all good. The guy who was just a minute ago talking about how, oh man, we got to help the universe and be nice to each other, doesn't have a ticket.
Uh-oh. Not good.
And so they tell him, sir, you need to get off this bus. They say bus. Obviously, it's a Max.
Right.
But you need to get off this bus because, you don't have your fare. And he refuses to get off.
Oh.
And he says, well, you guys don't understand. If I don't stay on here, I'm going to be late. One of the TriMet officers says to him, yeah, but you're making everybody else late. He takes out money and he throws it at her. He says, you get me the ticket.
Wow.
Finally, the driver gets on the intercom and says, we're going to be here a little while longer because we have to wait for the police to come out.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't know, 12 feet away from this asshole. So I'm thinking, what an interesting guy. Finally, he agrees to get off the train.
No police officers show up.
No, the TriMet people talk him into it.
Right. Okay.
He leaves. We go on our way. Get off near you. I get off. And this guy immediately says, hey, don't hit me with your blind cane or I'm going to break it in half. Mm-hmm. So I show him a finger and keep on walking.
Very immature, but go on.
I know, it's very immature of him.
It's very immature of you.
No, it's not.
Okay, we don't have to discuss this, but we have different ideas about hand gestures.
I think that you should have a backbone. And if somebody wants to confront you for no reason, then you have the right to show that you're not just going to take it.
No, I understand, but okay. So you leave the guy.
Walk to your place, and I'm about a half a block after this. So this is maybe like 3 minutes later, and he walks by me again. He just walks by me. He doesn't touch me or anything. He says, yeah, I told this fake blind guy that if he approaches me, I'm going to break his fake cane. And I almost told him to go fuck himself. But I walked by.
And what was my reply to that?
Your reply was, I wish I could have seen you beat him up, Rick.
No. I just think that those people are not worth anybody's time.
I do, but it is one of those things that hyped me up. So when I got over here, I was a bit upset.
Yes, I know. But giving someone the finger doesn't mean that you have a backbone.
No, but it also, you got to show that you're not just going to take somebody's shit.
No. I understand, but giving someone the finger is not the way I would handle it. I think it's very immature. I think that 13-year-old boys do it. And I just think that it's just another way of someone being obscene.
No, you have to have a response, babe.
No, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be a lot more civil. I mean, you could just walking away is a response. All you could have done was just walk away. No, and I'm not trying to judge you or anything, but I mean, if I were in your situation, I probably would not have given that person the time of day, and that's just their problem. And have you noticed that these people that are angry, they probably don't know why they're angry, but also, it could be something else like, well, I'm just going to pick on this blind person because everything else is going horrible in my life, and I'm just going to pick a random Have you noticed that? Like, do you think that they just pick random people to just...
I hear what you're saying. I don't feel like I'm in the wrong with this, though.
I just think that, by giving someone that kind of... I just feel like I kind of go back and forth with this. I think that there are times where you have to have a backbone, and I always admire people for doing that.
Thank you.
But I think there are other ways to handle it. And I think there are I think also too, if you give that person any kind of attention, you're also giving them power to make you upset. And
no, but baby, it's not like I went up to him and started pushing him around.
No. I know what you're saying. I'm just saying, by reacting the way you did, as even though it was nonviolent, by reacting the way you did, I don't know. I just think I would probably handle it a different way, but that's me.
And then I come over here and I start talking to you about Charles Bronson and
right.
how I wanted to go full Charlie Bronson on this guy.
Rambo.
Remind him of Death Wish.
What about the movie Rambo? So I don't remember seeing Rambo, but I heard that Rambo goes on this like murderous rampage.
Yes. Rambo is a ridiculous movie. Completely unbelievable, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun just to watch him go on this rampage and then go through the woods, avoiding the cops.
I don't remember seeing it. I may have seen part of it, but it's been so long, and it came out when we were both really young.
In 1996, I go to Sun River with my middle school class. This is what we would do before the end of the year.
Yes, that sounds like a really cool place to go.
It was. And we were staying in these really nice condos. Mm-hmm. Rambo is on TV. Mm-hmm. And we start watching it. I think it was on USA or something, and we watched the whole movie.
Oh.
And all of us were commenting about this is so unrealistic, this would never happen. Mm-hmm. But it was just a fun movie. Mm-hmm. Death Wish is kind of like that. Death Wish is a great revenge movie, which I think is why I brought it up to you, which is how you knew that I was probably in a little bit of a mood because of everything. Because I brought up Death Wish.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. There are times where people have come up to me for no reason and tried to start stuff with me. And I did feel like a little bit of a revenge in me. Yeah. I really wanted to get back at this person, but then I think about it, I'm like, okay, I'm probably not going to see this person ever. I'm probably not going to have any opportunity to confront this person. And I don't think they're just not worth my time. And I'm probably never going to ever see a person like this again.
So how do you let that energy out then?
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes there are times where I just kind of like, let it go because, like I said, these people I will probably never see again and will never, confront them when I'm actually cooled off and say, hey, that wasn't cool what you did. And I think you should apologize.
But it upsets you.
Yes, it does. But then I think to myself, and I'm like, to me anyway, I think if I have some time to think about it, I'm like, is it really worth getting upset about? Because I could get upset about it. I could let it irritate me, but it's not really gonna help me at all. It's counterproductive. And I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think those people are worth any little bit of my thoughts or anything like that. They're just angry people that need help. They're just angry people that want to pick out random people to mess with. And, now, if they were violent towards me, then I would have to do something.
Yeah.
If they actually try to charge at me and try to take my cane away or try to trip me or something, then I would have to do something. Or I would have to have someone do something for me. like to step in and intervene. But otherwise, if they're not, if they're not physically coming at me, then I'm just not gonna, I'll just be angry for a bit, cool off, and that'll be that. Go on with my day.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, babe, and you're entitled to it.
But that's, I just don't think it's, to me, it's just not worth the confrontation. Unless
I also think that person at that point is creating a confrontation, and it's emotionally unhealthy for you just to like bury it inside. And I know you're saying that you just like let it go. For me, I have trouble doing stuff like that.
Right. I don't let it. I let it go if I don't need to do anything. Is what I'm trying to say? I let it go if I know, like, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. This guy is just gonna do what he's gonna do, or this woman is gonna do what she's gonna do, and the next time I know how to react, I will know how to react.
It might also be something too different between just being a man and being a woman.
Yeah. Because usually when you think about a woman, right, usually women are not like super scrappy, right? There are some women that are like you get them in a mood and they fight you to the death, or they react pretty much like a man would react. But I think everybody's different. Every woman is different. Every man is different. There are men that are a lot more passive than you would be.
I'm pretty passive, though, in general.
No, but you're not so passive that you don't have a backbone. There are some men that are just completely spineless.
But generally speaking, I know I can come off as aggressive, like especially when we're doing this or when I'm doing any form of art. But you know me pretty well. I would say I'm relatively laid back.
I would call you a pacifist, but I don't think you're passive.
See, that's weird. I don't think of myself as a pacifist.
You know what a pacifist is, right?
I do. It's somebody who believes in nonviolence. Mm-hmm. And I believe in it as an idea. I don't know how much I believe in it in actual execution. Like, I think it would be great if we got to a point in our society where we could have nonviolence.
But sometimes we have to have that.
But we're not there yet.
But sometimes we need to do that. We need to do that to protect our own safety.
Right. But I'm not going out there starting fights.
Right. So in other words, you're usually passive when it comes to confrontations.
Yes.
But you're not passive with other things.
Like what?
Like art.
Yeah, with art I'm more aggressive, I would say.
Okay. Because when I think of a passive person, I think of a person, and I believe you do have a backbone, that's a very good quality in a man. But when I think of like seriously passive people, they don't have a backbone in their body. They're just spineless, and they'll just do whatever somebody says. And I don't think that's right.
No, it's because they want to be liked, and I want people to love me, but I also know I don't want to sacrifice who I am to get that love. Well, I want them to love the real me, or not.
Right. I want people to love me too, but I also understand that not everybody is going to love me.
No.
And I have to deal with that. And I know that not everyone is going to love us together.
Yes.
And,
Did I ever tell you about that time?
No. Go on, Bubs.
My dad beat up this guy when I was like 7.
Was that the same story you told me about, like this, like earlier?
Oh, when my dad beat up that guy, those two guys at the bus stop. No. I was there for this one.
Okay.
The one at the bus stop I just heard about later. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm 7 years old, living with my dad. Mm-hmm. We're in the apartment, and I think he had called maintenance for like a plumber.
Oh.
So this guy knocks on the door looking for, I think, my uncle.
Right.
My dad just is like, oh, come on in. It's all good.
Yeah.
Thinking that he's there to fix the dishwasher.
Right.
And then he starts beating up my dad.
Really?
My dad sent him to the hospital.
So he starts to hit your dad, so your dad finished it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And sent him to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, this is in front of me.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you call it? You didn't call it. Were you scared?
Oh, I was freaking out. I was like crying the whole thing.
Did you go in the other room?
No, because I'm like 7. I don't know what to do. And it got to the point to where my dad takes him outside, and there was these 2 boulders downstairs, and my dad starts throwing him in between the boulders.
Oh, he could have killed that guy.
I know.
But then that's what he gets for trying to beat up your dad, right?
Yep.
I don't know. He was trying to protect himself and you.
I think they had a look at my dad, but he didn't go to the hospital. This guy did.
Oh.
Yes.
So, wow. So, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you know if the guy was wearing a uniform?
No, my dad just let him in because he had called the maintenance people, but he didn't have a uniform on or anything.
That's really scary.
Yeah.
Wow. And he just starts hitting him, so your dad finished it off.
Yep.
Wow. Well, I will give him kudos for that.
Yes.
That is good.
Yes.
But that is also that had to be really traumatizing.
For the guy, yeah.
No, for you. No, for you. Not just for the guy, but the guy kind of, asked for it. And if you think about it, I mean, he asked for a confrontation and your dad wasn't going to let up.
No.
Good for him for doing that.
Yes.
Because you both would have been killed. You both would have been killed that night.
Oh,
ow!
Oh, sorry. I dropped
my foot.
Sorry, babe. I dropped my thing. That was an accident.
Ugh.
Sorry, babes. Sorry, babes. I didn't mean to hit your foot.
That's okay. My foot's still there.
But yeah. So I saw a little bit of violence growing up.
But no, those angry people. Why are they in our society?
I don't know, babe. This is why I believe in the death penalty.
I don't think they should die because of that. I just think that they need help.
Mm.
I just think they need some psychological help.
Help from old Sparky.
Old Sparky. Who's Sparky?
No, that's what they used to call the electrocutioner back in the day. I'm joking, of course.
No, they need help from Stuart Smalley.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
He's not even real.
No.
No, they seriously, I mean, I just wonder about that because they just, I mean, where do they come from?
They come from bad homes.
They do come from bad homes. They also
Chemical imbalances.
They made some bad choices in their life.
Listen, I am sympathetic to somebody who made bad choices because I've done some things that I regret, of course. Mm-hmm. But you lose me when you try to involve me in your situation.
I get it, yeah.
That's where my sympathy ends.
Yeah, because if they haven't figured it out yet, I don't know. I get what you're saying, but I mean these people. It's just get some help or something.
Yeah,
get some help and don't put everybody else in danger. That's what I say.
That's right.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yes, be boys.
As crass as he says it.
Oh, I'm not that crass, babe.
Yeah, you are. Crude and crass and all the other stuff.
No. He was making that up. Let's move on from that because
let's get on a lighter note.
Got kind of real.
That's
fine, but this is challenging times.
But this is good though. We're talking it out.
We're airing it out. And let me say a couple more things before we move on. I think for me, a lot of times the way I've dealt with anger / depression in the past is through some form of art, which we can argue is whether or not that's a healthy thing, but it is how I process things. And as I get older, I realize that it's also good to talk to other people about it and not try to hide it through some weird metaphor. Does that make any sense?
Right, exactly.
And this is why I'm, in therapy. I try to be more upfront with you. Instead of just, in previous relationships, I kind of like blow things off and be kind of distant. And I don't want to be like that now.
But this is a good platform to talk about things like that.
Yeah.
I mean.
But the point is, I also talked to you about what happened this morning before we started recording.
And a lot of times too, when I get irritated with somebody, I end up talking to somebody about it too. I don't just keep it in. Sometimes I just need to talk to somebody about it. And I don't need to write a song about it or something. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't just let it go, but I usually end up telling someone about it. Like, did you know what happened? And just really air out my feelings and my irritations. And
Have you ever wondered, babe?
no, not really.
Oh.
Just kidding.
Not a lot in there, Jaylo.
I'm just kidding.
No. Have you ever wondered if people listen to this who have had problems with you in the past and get upset because you haven't mentioned them? So, like, let me give you an example.
Okay.
Without giving too much away.
Right. Okay.
There's people in my life that I've had problems with who I haven't talked about here.
Yes.
And I often wonder if they listen to this on a regular basis, if they would get upset because I never brought them up in this forum. And then they wanted me to, just so they could get
notoriety,
some sort of gratification.
I don't know. I would imagine, well, it depends on the subject too, because if I'm talking negatively about someone that is in my life or is occasionally in and out of my life or whatever it is, I don't know that they would want me to say anything about them. Because if they ever found out who it was, I was like, oh, really? That's how you feel. Okay. I don't know that they would want that.
Yes.
And I also don't think that my friends are really into podcasts either.
That's good.
Of course, I haven't asked around in a long time, so I don't.
But I'm thinking more like enemies.
Enemies?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I would not think that my enemies, if any, would be listening to my podcast or podcasts.
Nice.
I mean, what would they know? I mean, what would they learn? Oh, this person I don't like has
No. But I'm thinking they would listen to see if you would bring them up and then be upset because you didn't talk about them.
That would be kind of funny, though. That would be a really funny skit, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It's like, hey, you talked about this subject. How come you never mentioned me? Well, I didn't want to, I didn't want to put you on the spot.
You're not worthy enough.
You're not worthy enough to be mentioned.
Let's move on to something fun, since now we're starting to laugh.
We are starting to get a little more calm, yes.
Alana, the healing has begun.
Yes.
What technology, if any, have you been geeking out over during the past few days?
Mainly my dot. I haven't been doing a lot of geeking out on, and in fact, I still have to. There's still some things that I have to look at that I haven't been. I really want to get into the Ken Burns thing because I haven't yet, and yeah, but I haven't been doing a lot of geeking out. What about you?
I have a subscription to YouTube Music.
Nice.
The reason I got it is because you get ad-free YouTube videos with it as an extra bonus. And I'm always watching YouTube. I tell you that to remind you that over the summer, they gave out a free Google Nest Mini to YouTube Music subscribers.
That's so cool.
Yes, I got one, played with it for a day or two, and unplugged it because there was no official battery base that I could buy for it. Mm-hmm. But within the last week or so, I decided to give Miss A break and plug in this home mini. I've been really, really enjoying it. They have this cool thing you can do.
Yeah.
I pair my phone with Bluetooth a lot.
Yes.
But they have this thing called casting, which is like you start the app on your phone, but then once it goes over to the home mini, you could turn your phone off and the app will keep going. Or you could keep your phone on and just use the phone as like a remote control to change tracks. But you don't need your phone once the cast has started.
Oh, wow.
So I've been geeking out over that, and also the BBC Sounds app. So I really like using the iPlayer to listen to BBC Radio. But the one downside to it is you can't subscribe to shows. For example, I really like Giles Peterson, who's a DJ on BBC Six.
Yeah, Giles Peterson's really good.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
But every time I open up the iPlayer, I have to research for Giles Peterson.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah, but with the...
It's like a new search, right?
Exactly. But with the BBC Sounds app, I can search for him, press the subscribe button, and then all you have to do is go into my subscribe section.
Right.
And I can find his show and the other programs that I like. So those are the two things that I've been geeking out over the last week.
Very good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You also finished a book last
I did finish a book. It's the third book in the Anne of Green Gables series, and I found out that there's 7 more books I haven't read yet. And it's really interesting.
Because of this, you are contemplating re-signing up for Bookshare.
No, I need to. I need to renew my subscription. Luckily, it's only one flat fee for the whole year.
Yes.
That's so great.
I know.
Maybe I can find the other book, the next installment on Bookshare. Because I really do miss Bookshare. They have a lot of good... Yeah, they have a lot of... They're always adding books. So is Bard, but they have a lot of books.
Yeah, I think Bookshare has a lot more than Bard does.
I think you're right.
Partially because it's ebooks and not audio.
Yeah, I don't really care for the computer voice, but that's just me. I'd rather have somebody human reading it. By the way, the person who read the book that I just finished, she read this in 1979, and the recording was pretty good.
It's weird. Like, sometimes you'll find really good recordings from back then.
Yes.
And I've had trouble listening to some of their material from the 1990s.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when I told you I read A Wrinkle in Time, and the audio recording, you could tell it was old, but I think it was from 1980 something. But this recording in 1979 actually sounded pretty good, and it was recorded from the American Printing House, I believe, in Kentucky.
Pretty cool, Jaylo.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah, I need to renew my subscription and try to see if I can find the book. Because usually, if I can't find it on Bard, I can find it on Bookshare.
That's awesome, babes.
Yes.
Jaylo.
Yes.
Last Sunday, I showed you a very special episode of Star Trek: Deep Space Nine.
It was good. It also involved our friend Vic Fontaine.
Do you want to give the recap of the episode, or you want me to give a shot?
I want you to give the lead, because you saw it before, and there were some parts of it that I was kind of confused over.
Okay. It starts off, Dr. Bashir and Chief O'Brien are in Vic Fontaine's bar in the holosuite. They go over to see him to ask if he wants to go to the Alamo program and the other holosuite with him.
Yeah.
He explains that that's not really his thing. Right after he gets done doing this, the mob comes into Vic's bar. And it's Frankie Blue Eyes, who grew up with Vic Fontaine.
It's Frankie Eyes, actually.
Oh, it's Frankie Eyes. I'm sorry.
Not Blue Eyes.
Sorry.
But you're close.
Frankie Eyes.
Yeah.
And he's going to take over the bar/casino and kick Vic out.
And he's a human, by the way.
No, he's a hologram.
Is he?
Yes, he is.
Okay, I thought he was
Which makes it more funny. I mean, he's a hologram of a human.
He's a hologram of a human,
Yes.
All right.
So then we go to break, we come back, and we're now in Ops, which is their version of the bridge.
Yes.
Kira is talking about this with O'Brien and Nog. Bashir explains that, his friend who designed the program told him that he puts, I forgot if he called it like a jack in the box or what he referred to.
Yeah, jack in the box, yep.
Yeah, to sort of make the program more interesting. And that's where Frankie Eyes comes in.
Yes.
His friend said, though, that if you defeat Frankie Eyes, Vic's place will go back to normal, and you won't have to worry about this type of thing again.
Yes.
At this point, Cisco comes to the bridge and hears them all talking about Vic.
And yes,
and gets annoyed, let's say.
I think Cassidy's in there too.
She comes in a little bit later. She's not on ops.
Yes.
He's annoyed that his senior staff is talking about this
hologram.
Yeah, and how to help him.
Yeah. And so later on, fast forward, he's talking to Cassidy. Cassidy has gone to Vic's many times.
Yes.
Unbeknownst to Ben.
No, I think he knows it, but he doesn't really ask about how often.
And she doesn't understand, well, why are you so, why do you want to help this guy? He's just a hologram. And he was complaining about what was going on in the 60s with racial relations. Because
he asked, why are you so against Vic?
Yeah. And she says, look, we have to help him because Vic never treated us any differently. He's never treated me any differently or Jake. And he won't treat you differently because he likes anyone in his casino.
But Ben makes an interesting point.
Yeah.
And he says that's the problem. It's kind of a whitewashing of history. I have some thoughts about that later on, but let's keep going with the episode, babes.
Okay. So anyway, she convinces him by saying something like, if we go to Vic's, we're showing that we as a people have more opportunities. They're not limited now. That's how she convinces him to.
And we should make it clear, he doesn't really get swayed by the argument that night.
Right.
He has to think about it.
He does have to think about it, yeah. Yeah.
So they decide, the senior staff, that they are going to get Frankie eyes.
Including Ezri, too.
Yes. But Ezri's sort of like, okay, she's there. That's great.
Yeah.
She's a waitress in this episode, basically. Mm-hmm. They come up with this elaborate scheme, which I'm not going to go through because it's complicated.
Yeah.
And as we've established already, I'm not the smartest light bulb in the bunch.
You are smart, though.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just not smart enough to figure out. Suffice it to say, it has to do with stealing money, some distractions, and a safe.
Right, and Nog is in charge of opening the safe.
With Odo there to take the money. And there's this great scene where they go in and Nog is like, uh-oh. And Odo, it says, we don't have time for what's wrong? And Nog's like, Major Kira...
It's an auto lock, right?
Yeah, failed to mention that this is an auto lock. It's going to take me longer than the time we anticipated.
To open it, yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to figure out the combination. He's like, no. and they're like, okay, we have about however many minutes, right? 6 minutes.
And the time gets passed.
Yeah.
But the rest of the crew keep coming up with these distractions.
The funny part was when Captain Cisco throws money in the air.
He made it rain.
It's like, there's money for everyone. And then you saw the last part, right? Remember when he was distracting him with the money and what happened with Frankie?
Frankie's boss comes to town and wants to see how business is going.
Yep.
And we should also say Frankie has a thing for Major Kira in this episode. Colonel Kira.
Colonel Kira, yes.
I keep getting that confused.
Colonel Kira.
Yes.
Yes.
So she's helping with this plot. Eventually, Frankie and his boss go back to the room with the safe and the money. And Frankie's like, oh, you're going to be surprised with how much money we're making here today, boss. Opens up the safe, there's nothing. And it's implied that Frankie is killed.
But you don't see it.
Yeah, and funny because it's a hologram.
And then Vic's casino turns back, and then Captain Cisco and Vic sing a number together, and he's got a great voice.
He does.
Captain Cisco does. He does.
So overall, you enjoyed this episode?
I thought it was great. I thought it was like a really fun, like Vegas type of episode. Like this would happen in Las Vegas.
The thing I really like about the show, and I know I've said it before, is it makes you care for characters that aren't even real within the context of the show.
I know.
You know.
But it really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah. And they consider Vic a friend even though they know he's not real.
Exactly.
Which I find it so interesting.
It is very interesting. Like, why would you spend all your time and energy helping someone that isn't even a real person? Why would you spend your vacation with somebody that really isn't real, and the suite isn't real either? That's what Nog did.
Right.
You know what I mean? I just love how they play along with that.
It's great stuff.
It is.
What do you think of what Cisco says about, it's great that Vic isn't racist, but this is a whitewashing of history?
I don't know.
I see his point.
How is that?
Because he's saying if we pretend that racism isn't a real thing when we're at Vic's, we're ignoring our past and we're choosing to believe for however long that this wasn't a real thing. And that has subconscious side effects.
I don't necessarily think, though, that Cassidy was denying that it wasn't real. I think that she was trying to find a way to move forward from adversity.
Yeah, so I get Cassie's point, and I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't think that, dwelling on it isn't going to fix the problem.
Right, but I also understand what Ben is saying.
Yeah. But I've noticed that in a lot of, and this is just in general, though, I noticed that in a lot of things dealing with racial issues, particularly Black issues with the Black community, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it's just me, but I've noticed that whenever they're dealing with an issue like that, there's always one person that dwells on it and doesn't want to move forward from it for a while, or something to that effect.
I don't know if I'd say that.
It just seems like it to me. But then I can't talk.
Go ahead.
When there is another racially charged episode, usually they don't talk about other. Maybe I shouldn't say that. A lot of times they would focus on Black history or focus on the great things that Black men have done for our country. But why don't they ever focus on other things like other minority groups?
So you're saying, if I understand you correctly, mm-hmm. and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. And
okay.
I was busy giving guys the bird earlier today.
Jeez.
In TV, mm-hmm. oftentimes they'll talk about the triumphs of Black men.
Yeah.
And while you understand that, you wish that they would spend a little bit more time talking about what other minorities have done.
Well,
am I hearing you right?
Yes, but I mean, it just seems so, it seems so heavy-handed, if that makes any sense to me. They try to lay it on thick. And
TV.
Right. And I kind of, I understand about all their atrocities. I get it. It wasn't a good time in our country's history. But what about focusing, maybe, I don't want to sound like a woke person by saying this, but
go ahead.
Why not just focus on one minority, talk about other things, but also talk about how far we've come instead of how horrible that time was. I don't know. It just seems like there's a lot of dwelling and not moving.
I think it depends on what you watch.
Mm-hmm. I think the way that they handled it for the most part on DS9 was very good.
Yeah. I thought the way they handled it in this episode was great.
I think it is too, yes.
But are we talking about Star Trek or are we talking about TV in general?
In general. I'm not just talking about Star Trek.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. I would love to watch a show about Native Americans who are just doing their thing, right? And and the point of the show isn't that they're Native Americans; it's that they're people living their life, mm-hmm. and they also have these interesting traditions that me, as somebody who's not been very exposed to that culture, is not familiar with.
Well, and then. And I don't want to sound like I don't know. I may get a lot of flack from this by saying it, but I think I think it needs to be mentioned. Because we talk about, in racially charged episodes, we talk about all the atrocities that were being done by a certain group of people, right?
Go ahead.
What about atrocities that were being done by what about the atrocities that have been done in the same group, within the same minority group?
So you're talking about things like black on black crime.
Native American slavery. I mean, right, not just focusing on this group did this.
Yeah, I hear you. So, for example,
right.
When Christopher Columbus came to this country...
We had to go there.
Why?
What does that have to do with that?
You just brought up Native Americans.
No, but I'm just talking about like the generalization of why does it have to be like, why does it have to be, and I'm not talking about Christopher Columbus necessarily. I mean, within their own group of people.
I know, but you wouldn't let me finish.
Okay.
And had you let me finish, I might have told you something you were going to agree with.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Which is that when Christopher Columbus came to this country, he killed a lot of Native Americans.
And I disagree.
Well, even though every piece of evidence will tell you differently.
No, it wouldn't.
This is what you get for being a Trump supporter. But
fighting words.
All right. But what I was gonna say, yes, he killed a lot of Native American people,
and I think that's not historical. But go on.
Oh, babe.
This is what happens when education poisons the minds of young people. Go on.
Out of the two of us, I'm the only one who's read a history book as an adult. I'm just saying. All right, let me talk. Yes, he killed a lot of Native American people.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Are you going to let me say my piece?
Yes.
Give my example? Yes. Or you just want to yell at me?
No.
Okay.
No.
But there was also wars within Native American tribes.
Okay.
Yes.
That I would agree.
Yes.
So, so case in point, what I mean is, with a racially charged episode in TV shows, I think that instead of focusing on somebody killing several people in a tribe that wasn't a part of their tribe, versus people within their own tribe killing each other. I don't know.
I don't get that.
Huh? We just talked about it a while ago.
You said tribe killing each other in tribe versus people in a tribe killing each other?
No. What I mean is, instead of focusing on somebody committing a crime against a group of people that isn't a part of, it isn't from, like for example, if a white person, if you focus on a white person killing, I don't know, said minority group, right?
Yeah.
And it just seems to talk about all the crimes against certain minority groups against by another group. Instead of doing that, why don't we talk about the crimes that are committed within each minority group themselves?
Right. But you're also somebody who learns your history from TV, though. And, no, you are.
No.
You are, though. You would admit that, right?
Well, sometimes, yes. But I also can admit that there are some parts of history that I'd like to study more of, but I don't want to study it according to somebody else's interpretation on history. I actually want to study the actual history of it.
You mean you don't just want to go?
I don't want to read something by Howard Zinn. I'd rather read an actual book that has an account of the actual history that isn't written by from someone's interpretation of it.
But every historian is going to have an interpretation of history, though. Whether it's Howard Zinn or whoever it is. Or Graham Hancock. It's always somebody's interpretation of history.
But then you got to figure out, well, what is real? I mean, your history teacher may have told you something completely different than what's actually was supposed to be in history books that were taken out of history books.
But your history teacher could be telling you the same thing. See, that's why it's important to have more than one source.
Uh-oh.
What?
Ambulance is coming after you or whatever.
Oh.
But anyway.
I know I'm shocking you with this.
I got a little bit of worked up a little.
I know you did. I know you. I've noticed this with conservatives.
Hey!
No, why do you think this is?
Fighting words.
I noticed that
fighting words.
Conservatives.
You're generalizing conservatives here.
I'm talking about the conservatives I know.
Uh-huh.
They talk about liberals who get triggered, which is a thing.
Yes, it is.
But they also get triggered very easily.
I don't know that the word is triggered. I think the word is passionate.
Okay.
There is righteous. I think there's such a thing as there is such a thing as righteous anger, and there is such a thing as unnecessary anger. And I think when it comes to conservatives being passionate, I think that there is a very good there is a reason to be passionate because they're passionate about their own beliefs.
But don't you think that it would be a better form of passion if, like, you're getting passionate and worked up over history, but you don't read history books. You get your history from TV.
How do you know I don't read history books? Or how do you know I've never... How do you know that I wouldn't read a history book? I mean, you're just assuming that I haven't read a history book.
Because we've had discussions about this off of this format. And you've told me that you don't read history books and you don't like...
I never said that I don't read... I may have said that I haven't read a history book in a while. That doesn't mean I wouldn't read a history book. I mean, you're just making generalizations.
But you told me that you haven't read history books.
Not the books that you read.
I'm just saying, if you're going to very worked up. All right, stop tickling. Yes, no, but what we know is conservatives can get triggered too, but I still love you.
I think triggered is like a seriously woke word that I don't use.
No, a lot of conservatives use the word trigger. A lot of
That's in referring to leftists.
I know, but they still use it.
Yeah, conservatives use it, but it's not necessarily referring to themselves, but it's referring to a lot of...
No, but that's the point. It's like they're referring to other people who get triggered to avoid the fact that they also get triggered.
Not necessarily, Bob.
Okay, but you were getting triggered.
It's called passion, Bubs.
Uh-oh.
There's a difference.
So why is it passion when it happens to conservative, but it's triggered when it happens to liberal?
Well, I think... So, when I think of the word triggered, I think of people like getting unnecessarily angry for a word, a piece of clothing, a topic they don't want to talk about. They just rather get angry. That's the way I see it. When you're talking about passion, when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about your beliefs, and it's not necessarily, it's more like righteous indignation.
Okay.
In your own, for your own beliefs, not to hurt anybody else.
Let's say this. I do think that you should read more history books. And maybe
I'm not going to deny that.
And maybe we revisit the subjects after you read some more history books. Because as a student of history myself, a bad student, but a student nonetheless.
You're a bad student. Well, at least you admit that.
But I do think I have more of a say in this conversation only because I do read about history. And if you started to, then we could have a more in-depth conversation. Does that make sense, babes?
Okay.
I love you there, Jaylo.
Okay. I'm not worked up anymore. I saw we.
Okay, that's okay, babes. That's okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the good thing is that when one of us gets worked up, it doesn't last for very long.
No.
After that, it's like, okay, I got it out of my system.
Yes.
And now I can do this.
Knocking on my head. Jaylo.
It's just a playful thing I've been doing lately.
Oh, God. We do need to watch some documentaries at some point.
Yes.
But hopefully we'll start to read something about history soon.
Yes.
Jaylo.
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad you're feeling well again.
I am.
And burping. Just
Excuse
like
me.
I was.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
That's all right. I was doing the same thing not that long ago.
So we've had a lively discussion this morning so far.
Yes.
I hope your friends are happy.
Well, I told you, I have a friend of mine who really likes when we debate politics. And there's a lot that we could get into.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk about the debate that happened with Mike Pence and Kamala Harris this week?
I don't really want to dwell on it, but we can.
Okay, I'll give you my assessments.
All right.
Kamala Harris did excellent in the first 30 minutes. And, no, listen to me. Listen to me.
This is laughable.
Hold on.
Folks, this is laughable, everybody.
You gotta let me finish, babe. You gotta let me finish. She did excellent in the...
I'm going to laugh myself out of the room.
Hold on. She did great in the first 30 minutes and completely shit the bed in the last hour. She did.
She didn't do good in any of it. I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. Number one, she was very condescending. Now, regardless of...
Oh, now that is laughable.
No, she was very condescending.
She wasn't condescending enough, but keep going.
No. This is what the leftists like about her. She can smile and nod her head.
The leftists don't like anything about her.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase that. Leftist journalists that have watched it have commented on her smile and her head nodding and her eye rolling and her laughs. I mean, she looked pretty pathetic. And I couldn't even see her. But she was very condescending to the vice president. I thought that was very rude. I also thought that she seemed very abrasive, and all I could hear her say was attack and lie. And every time, and even though she was confronted with the truth about her record about like sending people to jail with non-violent offenses, non-violent drug offenses when she was the prosecutor in California.
I don't remember Pence bringing that up.
Did she?
No, he didn't bring that up.
Oh no! Wait! I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. That was no. He brought up the He brought up. I think he brought up the fracking thing.
Yeah. By the way, this really pissed me off about her.
Okay.
No liberal is on the fence about whether or not they should vote for Joe Biden, hears that he's in favor of fracking, and then decides to vote for him.
Well, she claimed that him and her were not in favor of fracking when he was caught on camera saying that he was...
No. She did not claim that. She defended him for being in favor of fracking, my dear. She said Joe Biden is in favor of fracking, and so am I. I'm paraphrasing because I'm horrible.
No, because she wait. He claimed that he was not for fracking, but he said in an interview, he said on camera that he was for fracking when he claimed in his last debate that he wasn't for fracking. She also was claiming that Joe Biden has been transparent. But as you notice about Kamala Harris, she can adapt to any situation as long as she is with.
Let's take the fracking thing and just be clear on that.
Okay.
She said in the debate that Joe Biden is in favor of fracking, and she reinforced that point time after time when Pence would bring it up, which was one of.
Oh wait! I'm sorry, I got it mixed up. You're right because didn't he say before that he wasn't for fracking?
I don't know, babe, but the point...
Yes, he did.
He may have, babe. I don't know. But I'm talking about the debate that just happened.
Right.
That was, as a leftist, I felt insulted by that.
Mm.
I felt like, really? You're going to defend fracking, and you want me to vote for you?
Well, that was brought up. He was talking about fossil fuels, and he was saying, well, wait a minute, Joe Biden was caught on camera saying that he was not in favor for fracking, but he's saying that he was in favor for fracking in the last debate when...
No, babe.
Hold on. I'm not finished.
You're not making any sense.
No. You said that Kamala Harris was talking about both of them being in favor of fracking.
Yes, when Mike Pence said Joe Biden is not in favor of fracking, she said yes, he is.
But what I mean is she was confronted. He confronted her because Joe Biden said on camera, and it is public, that he was not in favor of fracking, and now he's changing his mind for some other reason that he always changes his mind, whatever it is.
I didn't see that video. I'm not denying it, but according to her, he's always been in favor.
But what I'm saying is the reason why she didn't do very well is because when she was confronted by things on her record and his record, she would not answer any questions like, he asked her a question about packing the Supreme Court.
Yeah, and she gave the wrong response. You know what her response should have been?
She said she wasn't going to answer.
Yeah, and you know how she should have answered it?
She should have said yes.
She should have said, "You're goddamn right, we're going to pack the Supreme Court.
Please don't take the Lord's name in vain."
And please don't take the Lord's name in vain, Mike Pence.
You just did.
And you know what else she should have said?
You just said it.
You know what else she should have said? She should have said, not only are we going to pack the Supreme Court, but we're going to... Joe Biden won't even put somebody's name up for submission unless Bernie Sanders and AOC both sign off on it. So you either back off this fight now, or if we get elected in November, we're going to have a super liberal Supreme Court.
Well, she just showed her true colors, because by not answering that question, she's got something to hide.
No, she's more conservative.
No, she isn't.
She is.
She's very liberal. She is probably one of the most liberal candidates for vice president, and she's trying to make herself look truthful and transparent, but everybody knows that she's not telling the truth.
Trying to make yourself look truthful and transparent when you're not, it seems kind of conservative to me.
No, hey!
All right, stop.
That's it. You're gonna get it.
All right, stop.
No prisoners.
All right. So, no, she did good early on in the debate because she called him out on coronavirus.
Oh, please. But
when it came to the Supreme Court, she should have said, we're going to pack the Supreme Court. And she should have threatened it. And she should have said, we're going to do it with extremely liberal.
I just think it's very laughable that you still think to this day that she did well in the first half hour of the debate. She didn't do well at all. I thought she was pretty pathetic.
Because she was,
and it wasn't just because I'm not voting for her. It wasn't just because of that. I thought that Mike Pence was a lot more knowledgeable about what her and Joe Biden's campaign was all about. I thought that there was a lot more information. I thought that that she did a really. I think that the fact that she was lying about she was trying to make it seem like, you remember when she was asked the question about Breonna Taylor? No,
I was also making dinner when I was watching.
I watched the whole entire thing.
I watched it too, but I was also making dinner.
She didn't look off. She didn't look good at all. I just don't know how anyone could think that in the first half hour of this debate she was looking.
Do you want me to tell you how? She reinforced 210,000 people dead. The fact that Trump knowingly lied about how serious the coronavirus was. To the
First off,
he did. He's admitted it.
First off, he didn't lie about it.
Yes,
No, he didn't. That was all. That has been debunked.
It has not.
Everything that Kamala Harris has said was bunk. Everything that she's going to say is bunk.
No.
Every lie that she's told,
You're getting worked up, bitch.
Yes, I know. I'm getting worked up.
So,
by the way, Rick's friend, I hope you're happy. You got me worked up. Now I'm really passionate about this. Everything that Kamala Harris says is a big fat lie. Everything that Joe Biden said about President Trump in the debate was a big lie.
Oh, that's
every lie that they've ever thrown towards the Trump campaign was It was bull. Everything is bull. Everything is a big fat lie, and it's always been disproven.
Oh, babe.
And I just think that it's hilarious that you thought that Kamala Harris did well in the first half hour. I think it's very laughable.
I think, babe, if we ever get to reopen society,
we will,
because of the fault of our president. You should do. You should do stand-up comedy. No, but think about this, babe. I listened to you go on this rant for 2 minutes, and I didn't have to tickle you. As soon as I start speaking, you have to tickle me because and you know what that is.
No,
you're afraid that I'm saying the real truth, which is that it has been proven because we have the Bob Woodward tapes.
Bob Woodward.
But listen, he had conversations with the president.
It has not been proven. It's just another thing. It's just another thing that the leftist media. It's just another thing that the leftist media is throwing your way because they think that everybody in America is stupid.
Can I ask you this?
Including you.
Can I ask you?
But you're not a stupid person.
Can I ask you this?
No.
Why didn't Mike Pence say that the Bob Woodward interviews never happened? And I'll tell you why. Because it's caught. I'll tell you why. Because it was caught on tape.
Yeah, that's the answer for everything, isn't it? It's caught on tape.
Yeah, there's proof about it. That is the answer to everything, babe.
But everything that Trump will say and everything that Trump will do has always been taken out of context because they hate this guy. They've hated this guy since day one. They've always been for Hillary Clinton, and because Hillary Clinton didn't win, now they're out for blood. They're out for Trump and his family. They're out for supporters. And they're not gonna give up, especially if Trump gets elected, and I think he will get elected, because no one in their right mind would vote for a guy that's clearly suffering from dementia and a socialist vice presidential nominee that wants to take over.
Oh my God!
Yes,
she's the furthest. She's the furthest.
She's a radical socialist.
Oh my God!
I don't even think you even know what socialism is.
Very funny, babe.
I think you. I really think that you. And I really want to read up on this too. But I really think you should study the history of.
Babe, let me talk. Okay. First of all, Trump can't even denounce white supremacists.
He has.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he has. I can tell you that every rally, which you have not listened to, every single rally, he's always denounced ISIS. He's always denounced Antifa. He's always denounced Black Lives Matter. He even denounced white supremacy twice in the debate, but he didn't watch it.
I did watch the debate.
He's always denounced it. He's even denounced David Duke, which supposedly
you're not letting me
well, I'm going to get this in whether you want me to or not. He's always denounced white supremacy, and the fact that the leftist media wants to completely avoid it is because they know what the truth is.
Okay.
The fact that they want to avoid that he actually has denounced white supremacy is it's insulting. Insulting.
You get triggered easily. So let me try to get this.
I'm passionate.
Okay. One, when I said he doesn't denounce white supremacy, so you immediately go to he denounced Antifa and Black Lives Matter. But in the debates, he was asked to denounce white supremacy. He said, well, who do you want me to denounce? They said the Proud Boys. He said, stand by and stand back. And then he goes on a rant about Antifa.
Okay, he didn't
say stop. He said stand by and stand back.
That's exactly, well, what do you think he meant by that?
I think he meant stand by for further orders in case he has to send out any more dog whistles.
He's always done that, though. He's always spoke out against these people. And by the way, a lot of these people that are in these protest groups, a lot of them are white millennial women.
Well, good for them.
A lot of them are white people. So I mean, he's denounced these groups the entire time.
So why couldn't he just say when asked about it?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he says or doesn't say. They're always going to get him on something. I hope you're happy, Rick's friend.
You're very worked up, babe.
Yes, I am worked up.
And you don't let me get a point in as edgewise.
Because I'm feeling like Well, see, that's the thing, though. Remember when I told you about how I grew up and when I was growing up, I wasn't able to speak my mind about it. I'm making up for it.
Oh, great!
And you're the unfortunate guinea pig that I'm currently.
Okay. How about this? We move off of this with the caveat that since I didn't get to do a lot of speaking, when you're gone, I will release something on this feed with my political thoughts.
Oh no!
Or you could let me speak.
Okay, I will let you speak.
Okay.
But I'm not going to promise you that I'm not going to comment afterwards.
But you gotta let me speak.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go to Trump first. And the Joe Biden thing. And I'll do it quickly and then we'll move on to Kamala Harris and her conservative viewpoints. Okay. I don't understand why, when he was asked about it in front of the American people, he couldn't just say, I denounce white racism and I denounce the Proud Boys as a hate group. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a very easy win for him if he would have done that. Now, moving on to the debates. Why Kamala Harris did well early on in the debate is because they were talking about COVID-19. And she made the point, which is true, we have audio tapes of it, that Trump knew about this threat in January. And if you were a working parent in January, wouldn't you have liked the lead time to prepare for it? Where she started to fail is when she started defending fracking. She wouldn't give an answer on the Supreme Court. And she gave some really weird example from the Lincoln administration.
I know.
About why Republicans shouldn't fight for a replacement right now instead of going to the obvious thing, which is Merrick Garland, which is what I would have done.
Yeah, that was weird too. I didn't get that either. A lot of people didn't get the Lincoln administration thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I think she was strong at the beginning. And I think Mike Pence was really good at distraction. And he's good at that, but he did some stuff that she should have called him out for. For like one thing, because I don't want to go on all day about this. And
I do want to say one more thing until we go to the next topic.
I'll make this real quick. He started talking about the swine flu, and what did the Obama administration do about swine flu? Well, swine flu didn't kill nearly as many Americans as COVID has. Now, you could make the argument that maybe the Obama administration was lucky and maybe the Trump administration wasn't. But regardless, it's not a good example. And she could have easily called him out on that, but she didn't. And she could have easily called Trump out for not wearing masks at events at the White House and getting COVID and having so many people in the Republican Party catch it.
This is so laughable. This is completely laughable on her part. But that's why I would say that she did really well in the first half hour, and she completely lost me in the second hour. In the last hour. Let me say one more thing, and we can move off this topic because I don't really want to be worked up all day. But I'm going to say this: one of the things that I believe to be true when it comes to Mike Pence is what he said to her was, "You are entitled to your opinions, but you are not entitled to your facts." And the fact that she got a lot of things wrong, talking about the Trump administration, because he was on the task force. He knew exactly what happened. He knew exactly about the president banning travel to China after he found out around towards the end of January what was going on, and the Chinese people refused to tell the Americans what anyone was going on, and that Nancy Pelosi was Nancy Pelosi also, and I know that he didn't mention this in the debate, but Nancy Pelosi also said that people should go to Chinatown and be fine, and you'll be okay. And then all of a sudden, the disease started to spread out. But the fact of the matter is the reason why he was comparing the swine flu isn't so much about who was killed, but how quickly the president responded to it versus Obama, and that there was some discrepancies there, and I don't want to talk about it anymore because whatever I had in my system is out of it, and I don't want to get worked up again.
All right, I'll just say this. You are correct about Nancy Pelosi. Having said that, Nancy Pelosi did not have rallies while in public, while privately freaking out like Donald Trump did.
And first off, I think it's interesting that the left likes to berate the president on having rallies when a lot of people on the left, including Nancy Pelosi, does not wear a mask, but they'll preach to everybody else to wear a mask. I think it's interesting.
Listen, I saw the video of her in the hair salon,
yes,
and that's atrocious. But that doesn't let Trump.
But I believe. And by the way, the president has never lectured anybody about wearing masks because he believes that people can choose on their own. If they want to wear a mask, they can wear a mask if they feel safer. If they don't, they don't. And I think that people need to have to make their own choices instead of having the government lecture us about what we should do and not do the same thing.
Does it bother you that the head of the Secret Service is in the hospital due to COVID-19 that we can suspect that he caught from Trump?
So I don't know if he caught it from the president or not, and it really doesn't matter at this point. I think that it's sad when anyone catches it, and if anyone's in the hospital, and I don't, and just because, okay, so let me ask you a question though.
Go ahead.
Do you think it's wrong for a leftist journalist to wish death on anyone in the administration who has it? Because people have been doing that, People have been doing that on social media. Do you think it's wrong?
For a journalist to do it?
For anyone. Do you think it's wrong for anyone, like especially a journalist, to go on social media and say and wish death on any one of the administrators?
I think it's ill-advised. It's wrong. But
it's wrong for anyone to do that.
No. It is wrong.
Yes.
But people are also playing with their lives if they know the information and they're choosing to go around.
I don't think it's irresponsible. I think that the people who are saying it's irresponsible are not being responsible themselves by not following their own rules and lecturing us about following their rules. Do you get what I'm saying? There's a double standard here, and I think that it's wrong for a person in Congress or the House or someone in the Senate to lecture people on wearing masks when they're not going to wear one. And I think that people are a lot more smarter and they can make their own choices. Just like everyone or most people should know how to handle it when you have the flu, even though the flu has killed many people. And I think that people need to have choices.
Okay. Nancy Pelosi is a horrible human being, but that doesn't automatically mean that Trump's correct.
But there's a difference, though. There is a difference. President Trump has not come out and lectured people on wearing masks like it's the most important thing in the world. Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are the first people that will say, and then Dr. Fauci too, will say that you have to wear a mask. Every state has to have a mask mandate because it's irresponsible to wear one.
Are you worked up again?
Yes, I am.
I think you got it out of your system, babe.
Apparently not.
You know what you
but one more thing, and I promise I'll be done. All I'm saying is people need to do what they feel is right for them, and they don't need somebody in Congress or the House to lecture them on what they should do. That's all I'm saying. And not follow their own rules.
What I would say is I don't like Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. And I think this is where you get in trouble, where you try to live in a black and white area. Because, yes, they're horrible people, but that doesn't let Trump off the hook for some of the
Yeah, but they always do that, though.
What do you mean?
They always, and it isn't just Trump, they always try to meddle in people's lives and say, well, this person wasn't wearing a mask, but then they're okay. Like,
yeah, but the Republicans do it in different ways.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
All I have heard so far is that people like Nancy Pelosi was called out on it and said, look, if you're gonna lecture us on wearing masks, then you have to do the same thing. That's all I've heard.
Right,
but when it comes to a leftist person like Nancy Pelosi, they can lecture us all they want to.
Listen, I am of the opinion that Nancy Pelosi is secretly a big Trump supporter.
I don't understand how you came up with that conclusion, because she isn't. She hates him.
Because of the way...
She hates him.
You want to let me answer? Because of the way she handled the impeachment would be one, because of her piss poor way of fighting back, because of her pushing for Joe Biden instead of wanting a real progressive like Bernie Sanders.
Okay, well, what about the time that she was at his State of the Union speech and she ripped up a copy of his speech?
That's a symbolic thing.
She ripped up a copy of his...
No, but babe, that's a symbolic
No,
thing.
it's not. It is not. She just showed her hatred right there, and I thought I was going to be done. Yeah, she showed her hatred right there by ripping up his speech.
No, that's her.
That is disrespectful.
No.
That is disrespectful of her to do that. She disrespected the office of presidency by ripping up his speech.
What that is her trying to play to the base.
Oh, come on.
That's not her real feelings.
Yes, it is. You're living in a dream world if you think that Nancy Pelosi supports the president. She hates this guy with a passion.
She says
she's been wanting. She's having a. She's having a conference. No, let me finish one more time. I promise. I know I said it. She's having a conference. I believe it's today, or it may have been yesterday. I think it's either today or whatever. She's having a conference on the 25th Amendment because she wants him out of office.
You do realize, though, that
she's having a 25th Amendment conference.
Do you want me to answer your question about the 25th Amendment conference?
Yes.
You do realize that she does not have the power to remove him based on the 25th Amendment. What would have to happen, first of all, is a majority of his administration would have to agree that he is not of sound mind to run the country. Well, before it could go through certain other...
And it isn't just her. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who is absolutely horrible, but wants the same thing.
I don't know Maxine Waters is horrible.
Maxine Waters is another elitist from California that lives in like $1 million mansion or something. Well,
I don't know that.
She's been very vocal about trying to get him out of office, and so has Nancy Pelosi.
But here's the thing.
And Nancy Pelosi's...
But here's the I just told you, Nancy Pelosi doesn't have the power to use the 25th Amendment.
She doesn't.
Which goes back to my point. This is all posturing to make her seem like she's some sort of folk hero to the left, but she doesn't care about this issue.
I think she does. I don't know what kind of outlets you've been watching, but clearly she hates this president. She does.
I think it's convenient for her to say that.
She ripped up his speech. How much more do you need? She ripped up his speech at the State of the Union.
Yeah, it's a nice symbol.
She ripped it up.
It's a nice symbol.
If you were speaking... Okay, let me ask you a question, and...
I thought we were going to drop...
I know. I'm sorry. I had a lot of questions. I know. But I promise this will be over when... I really do promise this will be over after I ask you this question.
Okay.
If you gave a State of the Union speech, if you were the President of the United States, and somebody from... the Speaker of the House decides to rip up her copy of the speech... How do you think that would? How do you think that would make you feel? Would you feel insulted?
Well, I don't. I mean, I would feel insulted, but how do we know that they didn't work that out ahead of time?
They did not work that out. He didn't know that she was going to rip it up. She ripped it up because she hates him. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I don't know how much more you need. She's been very condescending towards him. She's completely been on him for whenever and whatever he's done. She's a phony. She really is.
Yes, she is a phony.
And she isn't a conservative. I don't know. I'm not sure where you're getting this idea that she's a conservative because she isn't.
She's not publicly saying I'm a conservative, but look at the people she chooses to support. Joe Biden, who is for the war on drugs, for the Iraq war, still believes in fracking.
A major racist.
Major racist, exactly.
He may be a moderate, but that doesn't count him as a conservative.
Hold on. Look at who they choose to have speak at the Democratic Convention. Half of their speakers this year were Republicans.
Yeah, I don't think
in the time of the...
or supposed Republicans.
Sure. At the time after George Floyd, they have the face of Stop and Frisk speak at their convention in the form of Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah, but Mike Bloomberg isn't even conservative. He's very leftist.
I don't know about about that. Well,
He's very leftist, and let me tell. And one reason why I think he's a leftist is, remember when Mike Bloomberg was the mayor and he wanted to make New York a nanny state.
You do realize that he was a Republican mayor, babe.
Republican schmepublican.
I don't like them either.
I don't like him either. If he was a Republican, he wasn't very good at it.
Oh.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't count making a nanny state a Republican move.
Well, then why did the Republicans support him when he was mayor? Maybe he should have had some.
I don't think
back
so.
Within his own party, babe. You know, it's interesting to me that Republicans can always talk about somebody wasn't a real Republican once they're out of the party, but when they're still in it, they're.
If there is any evidence that they weren't really committed and dedicated to the party, then I think they have every right to criticize them on it.
But notice it usually happens after they leave the party.
Not necessarily.
Or once they're out of political office.
Not necessarily. I mean, John Boehner was criticized when he was Speaker of the House.
Was he?
So was Paul Ryan. Really? Paul Ryan was criticized for.
But yet he was the vice presidential nominee in the Republican Party in 2012.
Who? John Boehner?
No.
Paul Ryan?
Yeah.
Well.
So that shows you.
Yeah,
that shows you something. Republicans never liked this guy, but meanwhile, he's our vice presidential nominee.
There is a difference between establishment Republicans.
We can drop it, babe. Give me a kiss already.
Okay. But there is a difference. I'm just going to say.
I'm sure there is, babe. One's racist in private, one's racist. You just heard. Oh, Jaylo. Hey, what was that for? By the way, do you want to hear an interesting Star Trek fact about your buddy Paul Ryan?
He was on Star Trek.
No.
He was married to the lady that played Captain Janeway.
No.
Didn't you?
Close.
Do
you want me to tell you?
You told me about this before, right?
He was married to one of the actresses who played a character on Voyager, Jerry Ryan.
Jerry Ryan, thank you. Yeah,
7 of 9 on the show.
Yeah, I heard about 7 of 9, but I've never watched the show.
According to her, he was really into bondage. I remember hearing that somewhere.
Ew.
That may not be true, but I remember hearing that somewhere.
I know that a friend of mine really liked how 7 of 9 was looking.
Yeah.
She was good looking.
Actually, I don't know if the bondage thing is true. A friend has told me that.
That is really creepy.
That may not be true.
That is really creepy. Yes. What the kinds of things that people are into these days, I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes, babes. Assuming it's true, and I don't know if that's true. I might have just said that and not realized.
I think I worked up a sweat.
I think you did too, baby. You got worked up.
I did.
See, it's more fun to be a leftist. No, it's not more fun to be a leftist because we lose all the time.
That's true.
I know.
Well, unfortunately, the Democrats don't know how to win elections anymore.
Well, the reason, my dear, is because they're paid to lose.
They're paid to lose?
Yes. They raise money, and so they lose because their donors don't want them to win. Their donors lean conservative. That's why there's so many conservatives in power. My feeling is if we had strong leftist leaders and the issues were explained in a realistic way, you'd see this country be overwhelmingly progressive. But I cannot prove that at this time, babes.
No, you can't because it's not going to happen, Bubs.
I know because
it's completely
our corporate overlords won't let
it's completely the the party is just going downhill. I don't know if they can recover from it.
Yeah, because they've gone.
No, they haven't. No, I don't think they've gone too conservative. I honestly think that they've gone too left.
Well, I love you, babes. What do you think of the Lincoln Project?
I like them. I know they're ex-Republicans, but they're pretty cool.
What is the Lincoln Project about? Because I don't know anything about it. I don't know much about it.
They're these people.
Are you talking about the 1619 Project?
No, I'm talking about the Lincoln Project. They do all these anti-Trump ads, but they come from a Republican conservative point of view.
Yeah, okay. Let me get back to you on that because I don't know enough about it. Let me get back to you on that because I can't really comment.
Okay.
I will admit that I don't know much about it, but I heard that project name being thrown around, but yes. I don't know anything about it, so I can't really comment.
To sum it up, babes. I am a lefty person who's not the best at articulating myself, but does a lot of reading and knows a lot of stuff. And I'm with a conservative who doesn't believe in reading.
Are you trying to get me worked up again on purpose?
No, I'm just having fun, babes.
Really?
Jaylo, I think we've had a good time today. I think we've... We've cried a little. We've gotten a little bit worked up.
We didn't cry.
Yes. Yes.
I laughed. I tickled.
You got worked
You
up.
laughed. And, yeah. Yes. We both did.
For different reasons. I didn't get worked up over politics. I got worked up over the people I had to deal with this morning.
Yeah. But you don't have to get worked up about that anymore. No. They're people that you'll probably never see again.
Hopefully not.
Maybe they'll be in some mental institution or something.
Yes. Or they'll go to the White House for a COVID party. Babe.
What?
Is there anything else you wanted to say? Any dreams you wanted to share?
I didn't have any dreams except for the ones I mentioned last week.
Okay.
I didn't have anything. I thought I had a dream last night, but I forgot what it was about, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Fair enough.
I think it had to do with Coco, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Oh.
I don't know. But anyway, the Star Trek episode was very good. I really liked it. I thought they handled the situation in a really, really, really interesting way. Yes.
And tonight, we are going to start a John Huston weekend.
Yes.
We're going to watch The Maltese Falcon and The Treasure of
the Sierra Madre.
Yes.
Oh, yes. And also, I should mention,
Go ahead.
I am very excited because I made my very first pasta salad. And I'm so excited to share it with Rick because I've been really getting into making pasta, and I think this is going to be really good.
Oh, can I tell the dad joke, the Eddie Van Halen dad joke I wrote this week?
You wrote one? Okay.
Okay, I told you this over the phone.
Okay.
Okay, so as we're listening to this, Eddie Van Halen died a couple years ago.
He died this week.
Days ago.
This couple days ago.
I did not get a lot of sleep in the last couple of weeks. Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is not meant to make fun of his memory or anything like that. It's just a dumb dad joke. So, Valerie Bertinelli, who works for the Food Network now, found out that he died. And in honor of Eddie Van Halen, she posted a recipe for spaghetti Van Halen.
That was really funny.
The dumb dad joke that I came up with.
Spaghetti Van Halen. Hey, that would be really cool, though, if she made a recipe in honor of Eddie and called it Spaghetti Van Halen. It's
really good, but it's a bit spicy, so it makes you want to jump.
Eddie Spaghetti.
Yes. That's my dad joke.
Go ahead and jump.
Yes.
Or you know, I just think it's Eddie Van Halen did not, I don't believe he sang lead on any of his songs. I think he just played guitar.
He's the guitar player.
Yes.
Have you read Sammy Hagar's book?
No.
Song with Van Halen?
No, but I heard that really disturbing piece of information about that little side room like under the stage.
I don't think that was too disturbing.
It doesn't surprise me, but yeah.
No, I think all the women were of age, right?
Well, it's just disturbing because of when he did it. And yeah. Anyway, I don't need to go into that. Okay. You have to read the book. I never read it.
I enjoyed it.
I never read the book, no.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I should say it's more about his life, but he does talk about his years in Van Halen a good amount of the book.
Right.
Yes.
Did he sing lead, or I know David Lee Roth sang lead for a while.
Then he left.
Right.
And they brought in Sammy Hagar.
What song did he sing on lead?
He did a few albums as lead, I believe. I don't know their music that well.
I don't know it either. Yeah.
But they had the song called "Right Now" that he sang.
Yes, that is a good song. Right Now.
And various others. We'll listen to the greatest hits at some point.
Not really. I'm not really a Van Halen.
We're not going to do it anytime soon. We're going to wait until we're feeling old and we want to reconnect with our youth, I guess.
As in the words of Adam Sandler in The Wedding Singer, "Now get out of my Van Halen t-shirt before you jinx the band and they break up." That's a great line.
My favorite line in that movie, babe.
Yes.
There's a little kid who's related to Adam Sandler.
Oh, yes.
And he's like, "Linda, you're a bitch."
I remember I heard that once, like, yeah, we're sorry. I think he has like some kind of like Tourette syndrome or something. We're trying to work on that.
Adam Sandler says, "That's not nice."
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not nice, but thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a great movie. That's one of my favorite.
It's a good movie.
I thought that's one of my favorite romantic comedies.
Well, I would not go that far.
Well, that's your opinion. Nobody's saying that you had to go that far, but
Okay, good.
it's my opinion that that's one of my favorite romantic comedies.
I think Chasing Amy is probably my favorite romantic comedy.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay.
That's just me, babes.
Yes. I think it's also because there's a lot of, I mean, it was set in the 80s. I was a child of the 80s, and some of the songs there were I remember some of those songs. I don't know. It just reminds me of my own childhood, even though it wasn't made even though it was not made in the 80s.
Good.
There's one movie, I don't remember if I saw it, but it was called Click. Have you seen that movie?
I've heard of it. It doesn't sound that good. He's like this dude with a remote control who spends his time on the couch or something.
He clicks back into time, and I think Henry Winkler makes like has a cameo in the movie. I think.
I like early Adam Sandler, but after probably The Wedding Singer, I kind of lost interest.
So basically, after he got married and had kids, right?
No, he didn't get married until years later. I think he got married in like 2003, and The Wedding Singer was
1998.
No, 97. Oh, no, you're right.
No,
you're right.
98.
I'm sorry. You are right. At
Yes.
98. February
98.
of 98.
I know. I have it on my computer. It's what it says.
Okay. But I didn't like The Waterboy. I didn't care for Big Daddy.
The Big Daddy and the Waterboy were okay. I did
Waterboy was horrible.
What about Billy Madison?
That was before. That was 95. That was okay. I really liked him on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, Denise, the Denise show.
That was awesome. And then Happy Gilmore was a really fun movie.
That was okay. I didn't really. It seemed like it was a golfing movie, wasn't it?
It's more than a golfing movie. It's about a guy who has some anger management issues.
Yes, he does.
I thought that was a fun movie. And Ben Stiller plays the guy at the nursing home who's like really, really mean to his grandmother, but nice to his face. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, I never really got into Happy Gilmore.
It's better than Caddyshack.
Okay. I don't remember if I even watched Caddyshack, but I heard about it.
Chevy Chase says to his caddy, who's having problems in life, "Do you do drugs, son?" To which the caddy replies with, "All the time, sir." I thought that was great.
Okay.
Yes.
What else?
Okay, what else do you do, babes?
Okay.
Yes. Yes. But he seems, Adam Sandler does seem like a really nice guy.
He does, and I heard in his, and I didn't listen to all of his biography, but I heard that, you know, in movies where he kind of plays off in sometimes as a ladies' man, like he played off as, he was a ladies' man in the beginning of 50 First Dates.
Yeah.
Well, in the biography, he never was a ladies' man, and he's dated some beautiful women, but he never cheated on any of them. he was always a one-woman guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
It is true.
okay.
They were having, and he said, and they also said that when Chris Farley died, it really, really hit him hard. Because I think he was friends with Chris Farley.
They were both on SNL together.
Yes, they were. I couldn't believe how young he was. Because I remember when Chris Farley died, he was only 33.
Same age as Belushi.
But he had some issues, apparently.
Didn't Chris Farley have a small role in Billy Madison?
I do not remember.
I don't remember.
It's possible he did. I don't know what he would have played.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Jaylo.
Yes.
Is there anything else you want to say?
No.
Okay.
I think I'm all talked out for now as far as this is concerned.
Sounds good. The only thing I will say is I am voting for Joe Biden this year.
I think you're making a big mistake.
But my vote, he gets my vote, but he doesn't get my loyalty. So hopefully he will be primaried in 2024 by somebody who's to the left of him. And we can get a leftist president in there. I'm voting Joe Biden because I love democracy. And Trump's a threat to that.
Really?
Not because I love Joe Biden.
I think
with that said, I think we need a kiss. Give me a kiss, babes. Give me a kiss.
I could say more about our own city, but I'm not going to go there.
Okay, what else? Give me a kiss, babes. Babe was. You just did it like a fart thing in my mouth. All right, babes. Anything else? We good?
We all good.
All right. Till next time.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.